You're listening to Humans in the Loop. We explore the systems that govern our working lives, how they're built, how they break, and who gets left behind. Told through stories, satire, and the kind of perspective you get from living slightly out of sync. You'll hear a lot about grit in tech. Push through, build, ship, survive. But what if grit isn't the problem? What if you give tech everything? Time, energy, health, and it still takes more than you can ever get back.
I'm not unhappy. I'm not a victim. But here's what no one told me. 5 years. That's how long I tried to make this work. I'm grateful for what I learned, but my impairments, autism and fine motor, sensory overload, executive dysfunction, speech, vision issues, they make traditional jobs unsustainable, and remote work, it's really my only option.
Today, a story about hard work, harder boundaries, and what it means to leave when a system won't make room for you. This is Maggie.
My health affects how I work, but it never affects the quality. My output's on time and above expectations every time. But the always-on culture and corporate politics, it's unlivable. Tech gave me physical pain and chronic fatigue and stress that just won't stay inside my inbox. I'm always just one flare-up away from the edge.
Not a story of defeat, a story of knowing when enough is enough. This is Humans in the Loop. I'm Ezra Strix. We'll be right back.
You carry water, meds, EpiPens, inhalers. No one questions why. Veilform is built for the needs that still go unseen. A personal regulation system for those navigating a world that won't turn the volume down. Inside each pack, weighted textures and silent fidgets that calm without calling attention. A modular, noise-dampening hood with integrated privacy. A roll-out floor layer for overstimulating surfaces, offices, airports, gymnasium floors, and a low-profile ID insert that says, "I'm not being difficult, I'm managing sensory load." Veilform doesn't ask for permission. It claims space for nervous systems that deserve support. Because functioning should never depend on pretending you're fine. Veilform. Necessary. Portable. Yours.
Veilform isn't real. I wish it were. What is real is the growing demand for sensory regulation tools. Products that help people move through a noisy world with more ease. If that's your work, consider partnering with us. Reach out through our website to sponsor an episode and feature your solution here. Today's episode is told in 4 acts. Act 1, the safe field illusion, where the promise of tech doesn't match the reality. Act 2, the tiptoe culture, when fitting in means always walking on eggshells. Act 3, the mask slips. What happens when you finally can't hide anymore? And Act 4, the system's filters, why some of us get pushed out no matter how hard we fight to stay in. Let's begin. Act 1, the safe field illusion.
When I was growing up, computer science was sold as a safe field for people like me. And by people like me, let's be honest, they mostly meant boys. Boys who spent middle school hacking Minecraft servers. Boys who didn't talk much, so they were just quirky. My school counselor said, "You're organized. You like patterns. You'll fit right in." And I thought, finally, somewhere where I don't have to hide myself.
Famous last words. Trust me. Anytime someone in tech says you'll fit right in, brace yourself.
I walked into tech as an autistic woman, organized, direct. I love patterns. From day one, I realized I was not what the room expected. I asked a clarifying question in algorithms and was called pushy. When I gave direct feedback on a group project, I was labeled intense. Meanwhile, the guys, same behaviors, only they were proactive and leadership material. I started tracking it. It wasn't a one-off. It was a pattern.
The bar moves, but never in your direction, and no one leaves a note to tell you where it landed.
You can feel it. Your strengths show up as problems when you're not the expected face in the room. The same tone my teammate uses in code reviews, he's called thorough. Meanwhile, I'm harsh. When he interrupts, he's assertive. But when I do it, it's rude. If he debates architecture in a meeting, he's an innovative thinker. Me, just not a team player.
It's remarkable, isn't it, how framing changes. Words matter more than we realize, and nobody knows that better than our next fake sponsor, Impliant for Managers.
Managers, you've got feedback. It's honest, but it might sting, or land wrong, or turn into a one-on-one that lasts way too long. Impliant for Managers helps you reshape feedback into something safer. It rewrites your reviews, growth plans, and performance notes, softening tone, rounding rough edges, and replacing confrontation with polish. You say, hasn't met expectations. Impliant for Managers will suggest emerging strengths in progress-adjacent areas. To convey, they're not pulling their weight. Impliant gives you continues to explore collaborative contributions. It won't make the message any clearer, but it will make the delivery survivable. Impliant for Managers, because vague feedback protects everyone, except the person receiving it.
Impliant. It doesn't fix the culture, it just helps you survive it. Not real, and probably for the best. But if your work brings clarity where ambiguity thrives or helps humans talk to each other like, well, humans, we'd love to hear from you. Partner with us, sponsor an episode, and let's highlight your solution. Now back to Maggie's story. Act 2. The Tiptoe Culture. Let's play Find the Line, the game where the rules are unwritten and move every quarter.
I tried to play by the rules. I studied how everyone else moved through meetings, the inside jokes, the volume of their voice, who gets cut off, who never does. I'm autistic. Reading subtext is work for me, but the only feedback I got was, relax, you're too intense. Or, you should speak up more. Or, my favorite, stop making things awkward.
You know what's awkward? Being the only woman on a neurodiversity panel and realizing they mean autism as a kind of code for boys who don't socialize, not women who overthink every interaction.
Once I tried explaining masking to a group of male engineers, and they said, oh, so like filtering your inputs? And I said, if by filtering you mean never letting anyone see the real code, then yes.
When we say masking, we don't mean the fun kind you peel off after a spa night. No, it's the kind you wear to keep your job and your sanity and maybe your dignity if you're lucky.
There was this quarterly all-hands, and I'd been preparing for weeks. Slides, demos, even a joke, which I practiced in front of the mirror for hours. 5 minutes before go time, and the room is just, it's too bright, and my heart's racing. Somebody was microwaving popcorn, which I could smell through the walls, so I run through my script. Smile. Make eye contact, but not too much. Don't stim. Don't say And remember to laugh at the VP's opening joke, even if it's about rock star devs pulling all-nighters. I present and I nail the Q&A. But afterwards, my boss pulls me aside. You did great, but some folks said you seem a little sharp. Maybe soften your delivery next time. People can find you a bit intimidating.
Translation, the wrong kind of different. Competence is aggression if it doesn't come in the right package.
It wasn't all negative. My skip level pinged me saying, you're very good at explaining things for someone who struggles with social cues. Like I'm a rescue dog. Surprisingly trainable. I bet she thought she was being inclusive. I was stunned. I didn't know what to say, so I clicked the auto-populated reply. Thanks. What I really wanted to say, though, was how dare you?
Act 3. The mask slips.
There's a cost to never dropping the mask. I'd get home and I wouldn't be able to speak for hours. My jaw would ache from forcing smiles. The better I got at it, the more invisible I felt. And the more I tried to fit, the more I broke. I was disappearing.
Speaking of aching jaws, I almost forgot. It's time for a quick word from our next satirical sponsor, Mastix Gum.
Some days, my nervous system just doesn't calibrate. I clench my jaw without realizing. I loop through thoughts I don't need. I forget to breathe. That's when I chew. Mastix is a grounding gum powered by Calm Cadence technology, a rhythmic, sensory-safe chew that helps bring me back to baseline. It doesn't fix everything, but it helps me stay with myself. Quiet peppermint, cedar clarity, fennel focus, and unflavored, because sometimes I don't want flavor. I just want peace. Flavor that respects your threshold, grounding that holds. Mastix. Chew with purpose. Stay with yourself.
Rhythmic chewing, sensory grounding, a little less jaw tension, a little more presence. Mastix may be fictional, for now, but if you're a brand that believes in helping humans stay present, maybe even with real gum, Humans in the Loop is open to partnerships. Now, back to our story. Here's the truth. When your whole job is acting, sooner or later you forget where the performance ends and you begin.
One day, the mask slipped. It was an emergency release, high stakes, everyone was tense. A bug popped up, and I spotted it, jumped in, called it out, fast. "That's not thread safe, it'll crash and prod." The room froze. My manager says, "Maggie, let's not assign blame right now." Only I wasn't assigning blame, I was saving the build. After that, the whispers started. "She's difficult, not a team player." People stopped inviting me to huddle meetings, and I began to receive less critical work.
Cultural fit. The shape-shifting monster. It'll praise your quirks on Monday and push you out for them on Friday. But Maggie's not the problem here. The culture? It's toxic, and it's designed that way. It feeds itself.
That night, I messaged my mentor. She'd left tech a while ago. Same story, just a different decade. I typed, "I tried everything. I muted myself in meetings, but then they'd say I was disengaged. When I spoke up, I was told I was too abrasive. I can't win. Some days I can't even breathe. Does this ever get easier?"
She was desperate, unraveling. Sometimes that's the only honest response to a system that says, "Why can't you just be less you?"
Her reply came in less than 10 minutes later. "Not in the places that need fixing most. Find your people, hold on to them. Let the company just be a job. Let the humans be your community." That one sentence saved me more than HR ever did. From then on, she invited me to women in tech meetups, virtual co-working, and even meme threads where I could drop the act and just be.
Community fills the gaps that company culture leaves. It's the difference between drowning and treading water.
It's where I could say, "I stim by humming during code reviews," and then someone else says, "Me too, I chew on pen caps." There's no feedback about tone, no suggestions to work on your brand.
Act 4. The system's filters. Let's name it. The system rewards certain flavors of autism, usually the ones in hoodies, not headbands. If you don't come in the right package, your strengths get rebranded as liabilities.
I've seen it. A guy zones out in meetings, he must be thinking deep thoughts. But if I miss a beat, all of a sudden I'm spacey. One of the guys gets single-minded about solving a bug. Oh, focused, detail-oriented. Meanwhile, if I hyper-focus, that's inflexible. I even had a manager write once in my review, "Maggie's work is exceptional, but she sometimes creates discomfort by pushing back directly." That discomfort, by the way, that was me flagging accessibility issues.
Funny how women's advocacy is discomfort, but men's is leadership potential.
I started wondering if I was broken. I spent so much time studying neurotypical social cues that I forgot how to trust my own. Meanwhile, my health kept sliding. Carpal tunnel, migraines, fatigue, and all the while, all anybody could say was, "You need to be more resilient."
There's always someone ready to give advice. You'd fit in if you just smoothed out your edges. Have you tried not taking things so personally? All it means is, you're a problem because you're not like us.
It took 5 years, 3 jobs, 2 breakdowns, and 1 unforgettable Zoom call to realize I'm not the problem. I'm never going to be able to thrive where my strengths are considered a threat and my differences become liabilities. I cannot keep giving my body and mind in places that see me as a project risk.
For Maggie, enough was enough. You can only fight a loaded system for so long before you decide to build your own map out.
So I made a list. Things I love, things that let me rest, and the people who see me.
Notice what's not on that list? Work twice as hard for half the credit. Smile through it. Make yourself smaller. Nope. Maggie's playbook isn't about fitting in, it's about surviving, and if you're lucky, actually living.
I started small. Freelance gigs, selling art. I'm picking up music again. I found a contract with a tiny nonprofit where being direct means that projects get done faster. I found peace in quiet corners of community with people who told me it's not just you.
Take it from someone who's seen too many stories end the other way. If you're building a future, make sure it's one that lets you show up as yourself. Even if, especially if, the system keeps telling you to edit, mute, or apologize for who you are.
I'm going back to school. It pays less, but it fits. And for once, the mask can stay off.
Not everyone gets a map out, but Maggie's got a compass for anyone following the same trail.
If you're like me, disabled, autistic, a woman, tired of carrying the whole burden, listen. Find smaller, mission-driven organizations and teams. Build your brand around actual strengths, your actual strengths, not the things that you think will get you picked. Specialize. You want to be known for something real. Run. Don't walk from red flags. Don't try to fix them. Put every accommodation request in writing early. Never apologize for needing them. Don't confuse comfort with safety. Network sideways, not just up. Peers keep you sane when the system doesn't. Practice interviews, code reviews, presentations in low-risk places first to boost your confidence. Don't mistake a company's silence for neutrality. And if you feel yourself disappearing, ask for help sooner than I did.
And if you're thriving, pause. Look around, advocate for others. Don't assume the silence around you means people are fine.
I'm not quitting tech. I just refuse to fight a rigged game. I won't force my body or my mind or myself to be smaller just to fit in someone else's box. I'm still going to be here, in the corners, building and dreaming, but from now on, it's on my terms.
And remember, it's not your job to fix a broken system, especially not one that's breaking you. Start with what you need. Find your people, the rest will follow. Even if it's not the path you planned. Some of us stay, some of us go. Everyone deserves work that doesn't break them to fit in. If Maggie's story sounds like yours, find your people. Let the company be a job. You're not alone, and you're not the problem. If you have power, use it to make room. If you're on the edge, know you have options. And if you're tired, rest. Unmask. We'll be here until next time. You've been listening to Humans in the Loop. If Maggie's story resonated with you, don't let it stop here. Subscribe, share, and bring someone else into the conversation. You'll find us wherever you get your podcasts and at loopedinhumans.com. Want more? Support the show on Patreon for behind-the-scenes access and bonus content. And if you're a company that wants to back this work in a real way, reach out about sponsoring an episode. We save space in every show for satire. But we also reserve room for products and partners worth featuring. Every listen helps these stories reach further. Every share reminds someone they're not alone. And every voice matters, yours included. Stay tuned.
This episode of Humans in the Loop, Difficult by Design, was written and produced by me, Christina Simmons, executive producer of this show. Voice talent, Kaylee Kendrick as Maggie, and Ezra Strix, cutting through the noise and naming what others overlook. Script consulting by Vivian Peach. Operations producer, Rana Cassidy. Sound engineering by Chad Simmons. Special thanks to everyone supporting the work, sharing the stories, and engaging in these conversations. You can hear more episodes and subscribe wherever you listen. Follow us on socials at LoopedInHumans. And you can support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/humansintheloop. Every rating and review helps us reach new ears. You can add yours at ratethispodcast.com/loopedinhumans. Stay tuned. Right after these credits, a teaser for what's coming next.
Next time on Humans in the Loop, Mina did everything right.
I was the glue, but like the invisible kind.
Camera on, inbox clear, voice calm. She was the kind of employee managers call a joy to work with, which really meant she never asked for anything. But behind the professionalism was a lifetime of learned fawning, a childhood instinct repurposed into workplace performance.
I used to think saying yes made me safe. Maybe that's just what happens when you grow up having to read the room before you could even read.
Until the mask cracked, just a little.
I said I was fine. And I cried for 2 hours after the call, because I wasn't fine. I was just trained to seem that way.
What happens when the glue holding it all together quietly stops holding? You seemed fine. That's next week on Humans in the Loop.